So what the hell happened to Tom Brady against the 49ers? I mean, listen, there were plenty of issues that went on for Tampa Bay against San Francisco, but that's happened. We've seen this defense at times, have bad performances. We've seen the receiving core have some bad performances this year. We've seen the offensive line have some bad performances this year. But this is probably Brady's worst performance of the year, I would say. Brady was not good in this one, missing a good chunk of throws. Let's talk about what went wrong, and we're going to start off with this play where it's a cover 3 zone. You have Julio Jones running a route that's supposed to get underneath a corner's zone in coverage. Watch how when this play begins, the route is looking to be pretty open. This looks like a pretty good route right here, and there's definitely some space, and this is something that we're going to start to see an issue with this year, and I have to be honest, this has been an issue this year, not just this game, is missed throws. Brady hasn't been as accurate. Accuracy, when he's got to Tampa, he's never been the most accurate quarterback, even though he was kind of known for that in New England. His accuracy had dipped a little bit in his, 40s, his mid-40s. His accuracy started to dip. Okay, you'll take that. He's still been a good quarterback this year even. But this is definitely something that we've seen that's become more of an issue. Again, every quarterback has flaws, but this has been one of his flaws. His accuracy has dipped a little bit, and it was really bad in this game. I mean, watch Brady make this throw. He had a clean pocket, still kind of threw a little bit off balance still. I'm not sure if he was afraid of getting hit. Perhaps that's it, but he underthrows that ball to Julio Jones a little bit. It puts it a little higher. Maybe you want to say that Julio Jones should have still found a way to make that grab, but if he puts it a little higher, that is a catch. So, one example, it would not be the last example. This one was probably maybe the most talked about one, certainly one of the most talked about ones, because it was at a big spot in the game. So the Buccaneers are down 21-0. So okay, you're not feeling great, but you know what? It's near the end of the half right here. You score a touchdown. Hey, you at least are in position where you're only down 14. That's what you're thinking would happen. So you feel pretty decent about that. You also think about, they had a touchdown got called back due to a penalty earlier. So it's like, oh man, maybe we're actually playing closer than this game looks. It's a 4th down, Mike Evans, one-on-one matchup, which I don't know what's happened with Brady and Mike Evans. I just don't. They had really good chemistry. In Brady's first year, it seemed like every, time they got into the red zone, Evans was getting open for a touchdown. I don't know what's happened. However, I do have to say that on display, you're going to see Mike Evans. He is wide open right here. I mean, this is just, as good as it gets to get open in the red zone. Again, Evans so good with that first step. He's just wide open, and this should be, I'm almost wondering if it's possible that maybe Evans' route was to stop right at the goal line, and he's going to keep going because of just the way it's set up. It will be easier for him to get open towards the back of the end zone, but that might be just me making an excuse, because watch this throw. Look, Brady's throw is, there's no way Evans could have caught that. I guess maybe there's a way, but again, he's 6'5". It's not so easy for him to get down to his shoelaces the way it might be for someone who's, 5'7", right? Like it just, he has more work to get down that way. And also he was so open, that should have been an easy touchdown. And the fact that it wasn't is definitely frustrating and kind of took the wind out of their sails. Of course, this one would happen later on in the game. This is an interception where it's going to be a zone coverage play. You have Evans just trying to get into a gap in coverage. So, okay. Nothing too fancy. Watch as Brady takes the snap. Brady is going to look down the field, and you see Evans is open. Okay, a little bit of a tough throw. You have to throw it, over a linebacker over the middle, but actually the linebacker is going to kind of go cover the halfback, so it's going to get wide open. But watch, Brady takes a step up, kind of got moved a little bit, and I think that maybe resulted in the high throw, but still, that wasn't enough contact for you to miss the ball that badly. That should have been a completion. You should have been able to move the ball down the field. It's just a missed throw. And the accuracy thing it was an issue in San Francisco. I don't know if, one thing I think about is another game I remember him having poor accuracy was against New England when he made his return there. And part of me is wondering is it possible that sort of because he made his return to San Francisco, maybe it was almost like, he gets in his own head a little bit, potentially, and that kind of causes some missed throws. I don't know. It's probably not it. It's probably just coincidence, but made me think of that. And then something like this is another example of it's, again, zone coverage. And again, Mike Evans trying to get into a gap in coverage. Okay, simple. Let's see what happens. Brady takes a snap. Brady is going to look down the field. And right here, so again, there's a situation where Evans is open. It's kind of a tough throw. You got to throw it over the guy who's covering the middle of the field. So it's not the easiest, but Evans getting open. Again, Evans was getting open in this game. Don't let his stat line make you think that he wasn't having a good game. He was absolutely having a good game. But Brady's throw this time is a bit too low and it gets tipped up and intercepted. You think about just those 3 plays, Evans could have had another, 50 yards and a touchdown in that scenario. So that would have been obviously not enough to get the Buccaneers to win the game, as their defense was getting torched by Brock Purdy, and there were still other issues on offense even without just those few plays. But those few plays definitely hurt, and if this game was closer, could have been the difference. One last play to talk about, as this one looks like it's just going to be a straight up blown coverage. You see the 49er, who I have circled in black, who is covering Mike Evans. That is Jimmy Ward, who, good corner, didn't have his best day against Evans, but again, it's tough. Evans is good. You're going to see that it looks like he believes this is zone when it's actually man, is I think what happened here. Watch as you can see. I mean, they were even discussing what to do as the ball was getting snapped, and you see he lets Evans run by him when everyone else looked like played man, so I think it was just a blown coverage. Evans gets the touchdown there. It got called back due to a holding, though, and that's just the kind of thing where it feels like this always seemingly happens for Tampa Bay. And I also got to say, it was a hold, I think. I think it was the right call. I think Nick Bosa was there. And if it wasn't for that hold, it's probably a sack. So I actually, it's kind of one of those understandable hold type situations. But it's just like, man, seems like Tampa Bay, every time something goes right, it goes wrong. And not just, I don't know if it's a mental thing. I don't know if it's a coincidence, but it just feels like this is a team that beats themselves more than anything. And this isn't a Brady specific issue. This is just the team in general. For whatever reason, when they finally have something go well, it seems like it goes poorly. They get that fumble to get them back into the game, only for the missed throw on fourth down to Mike Evans to not allow them to get the touchdown. And I got to be honest, man, does this team remind me of some of those old Buccaneers teams I used to watch, and very sadly. I mean, there's a lot of similarities. Now, this team is better than those teams. I know that might seem like a shocker to some people. This is still probably going to be the third best finish since I've been watching Buccaneers football, because I started watching it in 2008 really closely, and that was the year after they had made the playoffs, before they had that long playoff drought before breaking it in 2020. So listen, I was born into the bad Buccaneers football. I was, this is nothing new to me, although I was hopeful it wasn't going to come back so soon. But the reality is, yeah, I mean, you can't help but think. I even remember on the championship DVD for 2020, one of the things that Mike Evans said was that, earlier, in previous years, we always had talent, but we would just beat ourselves. Kind of feels like that's the case a little bit here. And again, I don't know how much talent they have. They don't have as much talent as San Francisco, but they're also beating themselves. Things are going poorly. And again, Tom Brady, it's like, the reality is, this team doesn't stand a chance if Brady isn't going to play at an elite level, and Brady's not playing at an elite level. I mean, that's just the reality of the situation. Brady's still a very valuable quarterback, for sure. Even, how he's playing now, he's still doing some nice things, but is he playing at a superstar level right now? He just isn't. He's taken a step back. And again, we've seen Brady have ups and downs before. We've seen Brady have ups and downs in specific games before, including in this season, right? Like the Saints game and the Rams game. This team isn't very inspiring right now, but the reality is, I'm still going to say it just because it's how I feel. I would say this if Brady was on any other team. You can never count number 12 out. You just can't. There's always a chance of Brady. There just is. But, logically, it's not looking so good right now. The main thing that has to happen, I think, is the Buccaneers need the old Tom Brady back, and we'll see if that happens. That's what I think. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.